What's happening?
Howdy.
Good evening.
Hold on, my computer's being retarded. All right, there we go. All right. Good evening, everybody. Um, Real fast, let's get the boilerplate bullshit out of the way. Um, we are here having this discussion for entertainment purposes only. All right. We are not CNN. Thank you, Jesus. And we're not Newsmax. We are three like-minded individuals sitting here having a conversation about whatever has either piqued our interest or pissed us off in the past week. If you don't agree with it or you don't think it's true, do your own research. I encourage you to do more research because you might educate yourself. But, you do you. We're not here to promote hostility, violence, anti-government sentiment, or any kind of hatred or other bullshit that y'all may think. We are entitled to have opinions, but we, keep everything pretty much above board. If you're looking for a safe space or you're offended, this ain't it. You need to step off and go watch some Barney or some shit because you're not going to get it here. That being said, anything you'd like to add to that, Saxman?
Nope, that sounds good to me.
All right. That being said, let's jump right into it. Tonight's title is Scotus or Potus. For those of you who are wondering why we chose that, well, I'm kind of confused in this day and age as to who's actually running this fucking country. Is it the president or is it the Supreme Court? Again, I'm no legal scholar, but I guess I'm confused as to how there's laws on the books for deportation written by presidents in the past 20 years and were enforced by those presidents, most of which were Democrats, by the way. But yet, when Trump tries to do something, all of a sudden there's a hue and a cry. And all of a sudden he's being blocked at every turn, even by the Supreme Court, which is really beginning to piss me off. Vanguard, you there, brother?
Yeah, so I want to throw a little information on there. Who is the number one president for the most deportation?
What
Obama or Clinton?
is Obama?
It was Obama.
Yeah.
And nothing was ever said.
Yep. That's it. That's it. You're absolutely right.
Don't forget who built. Yeah, don't forget who built the cages.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that being said, if I'm not mistaken, Vanguard, didn't Clinton put some kind of legislation in that allowed deportation or something without due process?
That's correct.
So
basically, a do not pass, go, do not collect $200. If you were here illegally, there was no justification system involved. Okay, do you have a green card? No. Are you a citizen? No. Bye.
right. So I don't understand where the problem is here. And here's the other thing. Well, I got a couple different things here, and y'all can both weigh in on it. I'm not, first off, where was the hue and the cry for the Jan 6 people? All right. Supreme Court didn't say a fucking thing. But you start deporting damn terrorists, and all of a sudden, oh, we got to hear that case. Help me to understand that.
Oh, yeah. Well, for years, the whole I came across illegally was not prosecuted. You were, that part of it. You were not prosecuted on that for at least the past 4 years.
Right.
Now, if you were a bad guy, and I mean, you had to be a really bad guy, like worse than, getting drunk with no license and no insurance and killing a family of 4. You had to be worse than that,
Right.
to get deported. But yeah, it just was one of those things that wasn't enforced. That's another, DNC thing where, even though there's laws on the books,
Right.
um, we're not gonna go along with enforcing this law.
Okay.
Well, I could probably say something that'll sum it all up in a nutshell for everybody. If you're ready, this may be a surprise or it may not. Okay, if you get rid of all the illegals, how else are you going to hide money?
True.
That's a damn good point. I didn't even think about that, Vanguard. Very good point.
Well, I know for a fact, and I've got people that work in retail and stuff like that. There's been illegals, and I know they're illegals, come in there, and when you swipe and this is privy information,
Right.
you swipe your EBT card, right? It gives you a balance at the bottom of that receipt.
Right.
Okay, because people are just too sorry to call and check their balance, so they make it pretty easy for you. So I have been told that there's been like $6,000 balance on one, $10,000 balance on one. I mean, how can you justify that?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. That's our fucking tax dollars being squandered for future voters. That's all that is. At least in my opinion. So.
Now you got to keep in mind. So it's just me and the wife at home now. My kids are grown and gone. Okay. So
right.
with this price hike and everything that's happened over the last 2 years, I can tell no difference in the amount of money I'm spending with 2 less mouths to feed.
Exactly.
So if I go in there and shop, for a week, and I'm not eating caviar and filet mignon and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's real easy to go in there and spend $250, $300 for 2 people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like nothing.
Hell, I can't get out of a damn grocery store for
and that's
$100.
Yeah, I mean, that's not groceries only. You know what I'm saying? You go in there and buy toothpaste, a little bit of cleaning supplies, or whatever the case may be, and there you are, $300.
Yep.
Man,
I agree. I agree. I mean, I remember when you used to be able to go to the grocery store, and now granted, this is back when I was married to my first wife. And my rule of thumb was I need $100 to $125 a week for groceries for us. That was just for me and her. And we could go to the grocery store, and for that much money, I could come out with a cart full of shit. And not just garbage. I mean, I'd have like produce, vegetables, meat. I had a week's worth of food and lunches and everything. I had all that squared away. And now, you're lucky if you can get out of there for shit for a couple of days.
Not for 100 and some odd bucks. You ain't gonna do it.
No. Even buying generic. I mean, everything's too fucking much.
Oh yeah.
Hey, don't knock the generic. Don't knock the generic. The Great Value Pop Tarts are way better than the original.
You can't even taste the lead and arsenic in them. all the way from China.
Well, I mean, some generic stuff is great. It just depends on what it is. It's a crapshoot, a lot of times, depending on what you're getting. But most of your generic stuff from Walmart's all right. Just depending on how much arsenic and fucking lead and everything else you want. Yellow number 5, whatever. But that's with all the food. That's what, RFK is trying to do away with. He's trying to do something about that bullshit and getting out of the food because he knows the food's been fucked with.
And don't you love how the left eats itself on? I mean, the dude was a liberal a year ago, and he's no conservative,
No.
But it's hilarious how now that he's with this administration, and you see the green hairs are just all up in arms because they want to take red number 5 and whatever makes your, weenie go soft all the time. They want to take that out of food. So, these
It was
people
called
are
Peter
just,
for you.
yeah, exactly. They're just so up in arms about it.
Well, I mean, the one thing I can honestly say, and I know we're in the weeds right now, but one thing I can honestly say is that I am so glad I don't have to look at those fucking cross-dressing fucktards in the White House no more. And
Yeah.
that dumb bitch that used to be this one that run her mouth, Pierre.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad all them are the fuck out of there. I mean, thank you, Jesus. That's all I can say is thank
She
you.
was
Jesus.
good for comic relief, but other than that, not a whole hell of a loss.
Yeah, but when I see that damn HHS assistant, wherever the fuck it was, looks like damn a cross-dressing Shrek. No. And then let's don't forget the klepto fuck that was bald headed and stole luggage and shit.
Oh, yeah.
For dresses. That was another prize winner.
Oh,
And we got to remember Baby Buttigieg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So,
he's presidential material right there, buddy.
not my fucking president. I'm just saying, not
Right.
my fucking president. So, but getting back on point. Another thing I saw brought up, and I don't know if y'all have seen it or not. Everybody knows who Comey Barrett is, right? The chick that was brought in by Trump.
Yeah.
I guess that was back when he was 45, wasn't it?
Was it?
I thought. Yeah, I thought so, but I might be wrong. I don't think she's somebody got in there recently, but I could be wrong. But the point I'm making is, did anybody find it odd that she had two adopted Haitian kids? Now, let me clarify some things. It's fine if you adopted somebody from Haiti, Zimbabwe, wherever the hell you got them. I don't care. But it's almost like the GOP was hoodwinked, because she has consistently voted with that goofy bitch that's sitting there with her that can't tell you what a woman is.
Oh, yeah.
Kanjanji Bahaka Brown. All right. And yes, I'm making fun of her name because it's fucking ridiculous. It sounds like somebody that should be somewhere in the Serengeti with an AK-47 shooting at fucking cheetahs. I'm sorry. That's
You're
what
not
it sounds
far
like.
off. You're not far off.
You know, you don't want me to look at you like a stereotype, don't act like one.
Right.
Now, that being, anybody who's in a position like that and they're asked what's the definition of a woman, and they can't define it when they're a fucking female who has a monthly visitor, that just shows the level of fuckery that has gotten into our country.
Right.
And it just blows my mind, you know. But there's been some suggestions that the whole thing was that she was a plant, that she was never going to be conservative. She just presented herself as one to get nominated.
I mean, it's not totally out of the question. It's not a new tactic.
No.
Because you will see people not only in the RNC, but you'll see it in the DNC as well. You know, they'll get in and they'll be, 6 months to a year in their term, and all of a sudden they total flip flop.
Yep.
Yep.
We see politicians do it all the time.
Oh yeah, and okay, again, if you don't consider, and I know they're not supposed to be, but if you don't consider Supreme Court justices to be a form of politician, then you are fooling yourself.
Oh no, they're the highest form of politician because they're in there for life.
Yeah, I mean,
and they make laws. So that being said, they've always been leaning one way or the other. You might have one that's kind of the
A little,
tiebreaker, neutral.
yeah,
Like John Roberts, he used to not be the fucktard he is now. It's like
right.
somebody slipped something in his oatmeal, and he's been fucked up ever since. Alito and what's the other one?
We got
Thomas.
Alito, Thomas, yeah,
Those two are pretty much full bore conservatives.
right.
But Barrett, I don't trust that bitch further than I could throw her. And Gorsuch and what's the other one? Come on, the one they were all hanging out of his house and talking about killing him. Said he raped people and every fucking thing else.
Oh, Kavanaugh.
Yeah. I'm really shocked to see Kavanaugh roll over and take it in the ass. And Gorsuch, I would have thought, wouldn't have done it either. But, it seems to me like the Supreme Court's trying to run the fucking country. And I thought they didn't have that authority. And if they're ruling on things that have already been shown by other, I don't understand how they have the capability to undermine a sitting president when there's laws currently on the books that were not being enforced, that back in the day when they were written by Obama, bin Laden, and Clinton and all them, there was nothing said, and they made their own shit.
Yeah, but and yeah, I totally agree with you. You also got to understand though too. I mean, you understand. I know you understand.
Right.
But people need to understand. You can make laws. I can make any law I want to. I can get it. You can get it passed through Congress and all that.
Yeah.
It becomes a law. It can be the stupidest law in the world.
Right.
And unless it gets tried in a court and enforced, nobody cares.
Right.
It's kind of like you're saying, the immigration stuff. It's been on the books for decades.
Yeah.
And every once in a while they'll add something to it or whatever. But again, it wasn't. Immigration laws for the most part were not being enforced, and they weren't being enforced by a specific political party. So why the hell would they, go in and start making a fuss about it up
Right.
until now, when, like Vanguard was saying, you had Obama, Clinton, Bush, they all deported. I mean, you had huge deportations. They also laid off, I mean, shit, Clinton laid off more federal workers than, Elon and Trump are doing. And crickets, man.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a political weapon back then.
No. Well, again, I don't understand how the Supreme Court of the United States is doing some of the things they're doing. Now, like, here's the thing I don't understand. They fought him on that, and maybe there's some wording I'm missing, but then they turned around and allowed him to end the protected status for a bunch of Venezuelans.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they're playing all these different sides of the same fence.
I don't know, unless it was the Venezuelan thing is they were temporary, and that was in the wording of it, was that they had temporary status, not full on, hey, y'all can come here and just hang out for life.
But here's what I understand. If you're an illegal alien, if your ass climbed over the border, got dropped out of a fucking airplane, dug a tunnel, showed up on a cargo ship in a cargo container, I don't give a fuck, and you're here illegally, you do not have the same rights we do.
Right.
You're not a fucking citizen of this country.
No,
but they're entitled to certain benefits because they're physically fucking here in due process. It's like, what kind of bullshit is that? There's laws in the books that says you aren't supposed to be here, deuces, but yet you're wanting to say they're due process by the Constitution. They're not. They're foreign fucking invaders.
Yeah.
It's one thing if it's Javier Consuela and their two little kids, and they're working every day trying to make better. But here's the thing: it's one thing to come in here illegally and you're trying to better your life, right? But don't hang out for fucking 10 or 12 years and never get your fucking citizenship worked out.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to do that, you're taking advantage of a system and you need to be fucking booted. Period.
Yeah. No.
Because you have no intention of doing the right thing. You figure you're in here, you dodged the bullet this long, you're going to keep riding the gravy train until the biscuit wheels fucking fall off.
Right.
In the last administration, they kept putting new wheels on it.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and it was a constant lie of the border's secure. The border's secure. Have you seen the border? Yeah, it's secure. As waves of people flow through, but yeah, like you're saying, with the American, the United States Constitution should be an only us thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a citizen of the United States, you have all the rights and whatever under the Constitution. If
Correct.
you are not a citizen, Constitution shouldn't apply to you.
No. Go to another country and be a foreigner and say you should have the same rights that citizens have. See how that fucking bounces.
Right.
I guarantee it won't be met with open arms.
Unless it's in the UK or Canada or,
Well, now UK and Canada, the only thing okay. Canada is a
failed state.
It's a failed state and it's a milquetoast United States. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll get health care and all that shit. Now, granted, you may have to wait 2.5 years to go get your tonsils out, but hey, all's good.
Right.
England, I'm not sure what the hell happened there. I mean, when you start trying to have Sharia and all that shit, and no, look, I respect everybody's ideology and their beliefs. That's fine. I have no problem whether you're Muslim, Catholic, Jewish, Hindu, worshiper of Shiva, whatever. I don't give a fuck. All right. As long as you don't start doing this, beating a drum and saying all infidels this or all non-believers that. When you start doing that shit and you want to go the whole Crusades 2.0, that's a FAFO.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, if your religion decides that it's okay to take over another country as an immigrant or an alien, and
Right.
or you want to kill me just for being me, then yeah, no.
My philosophy is you better pack a fucking lunch.
Right.
I mean, I'm not that big of a badass, but I know I take care of myself, and I'm gonna take as many motherfuckers with me as I can. So right. I'm gonna go out like a Klingon. So okay, but that being said, I just it worries me because I don't think I just don't see a good outcome here.
Right.
I see. I'm not sure. Okay, the Democratic Party is hilarious. It's like a bunch of toddlers have shit their pants and they're fighting over toys. I can't describe it better. And the people they're wanting to represent them in the upcoming elections are fucking hysterical. AOC's your top pick, really? That horse-tooth dipshit is who you want to lead the Democratic Party?
Please let her run.
I mean, her opening her fucking mouth, you can't make a teleprompter good enough for her because she's the dumbest fucking bitch. I bet there's only two things she's good at.
Yeah.
One, mixing drinks, and two, sucking chrome off a tire hitch out of a 50-foot garden hose. Because there's no other thing that could possibly be good coming out of her.
No.
Did I offend some people? I hope so. because that was the intent, but just stating facts. There's nothing about her that is appealing to anybody who's sane.
Well, yeah, therein lies your, your caveat there.
Well, that's why I did say caveat. If you have more than 30 IQ points and can wipe your own ass, there's no way that that's appealing to you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, fuck. And we've got, I mean, if that's who in Jasmine Crockett, our favorite ghetto dipshit, she's the biggest fucking race baiter I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you are the epitome of the stereotype of the very people you say are oppressed. I didn't oppress anybody. My family didn't oppress anybody. And this goes out to all those other fucktard politicians saying, we need reparations. Well, when are you going to start giving me reparations for all you fucking hood rats breaking into shit and killing people and every fucking thing else? Exactly. Inquiring minds want to fucking know, because I think reparations for your dumb ass. Oh, wait, y'all got fucking EBT. You don't have no real money because you get everything off the government teeth.
Yeah, well, I think anytime that comes up in local elections, state or federal, about reparations, you just reference the Civil War. There's already been enough, American blood spilt over that.
Yeah.
There's your reparations right there. See ya. Bye.
Yeah, but here's the other thing about it too. How about if you want reparations, the only people who are due reparations, have to be able to show that their descendants or predecessors or whatever were actually slaves. And they have to be able to show that they are going after the people who own said slaves or their descendants. That's job one. Job two is, once you've got that, in order for you to sue them for reparations, you have to be a tax-paying 9-to-5 fucking citizen.
Yeah, and I would add in there that you would have actually right, pass a drug test, prove that you actually were a slave at one point, and prove that the slave owner is still alive.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Because you have no grounds. You have no legal grounds. You're doing everything based on race because you don't want to face the fact. And again, I've got good friends who are another complexion for me, dear friends. And I'm not saying this is a blanket statement or anything else, but you need to do the facts. I watched Charlie Kirk the other day, and okay, here's the deal. 60% of the violent crime in this country is committed by Black people. Okay?
Yep.
The same people who make up 13% of our society. But you bitch because there's more Black people in jail than anybody else. Well, that's because more Black people are committing crime. Furthermore, it's not necessarily white or Hispanic or Asian killing folks. It's Black killing Black.
Yeah.
It's all over fucking tennis shoes. It's all over a hoochie. It's all over, you disrespecting me. It's all over my ride. Whatever the fuck you're wanting to fight over, some stupid shit.
Chicken
and it's our fault. We kept you down. No, you motherfuckers keep yourselves down with that gangster mentality bullshit. And you're perfectly fine when you don't get your way, blaming every fucking body else for your poor decisions.
Yep.
You want to change, break that cycle. It starts in your own fucking neighborhood. Now, what I will say is the friends that I have that are of another complexion, they broke the cycle. They did what they needed to do, and they became very what's the word? They achieved goals. They got careers. They did good for themselves, did good for their families. I'll give you a classic example. I got a close friend, and when she was pregnant with her 2 boys, she refused to name them something that have 14 fucking syllables in it. All right. So the first kid she saw, or the first name, I believe she's on her way to the hospital. She's in labor, and she saw a plumber truck or van by them, and she saw the name of the plumbing company, and that was the first name she used for her kid.
Roto-Rooter?
Nope.
Oh.
It was one name, a human name, a person, a male,
Yeah.
and it was 2 syllables.
Very good.
All right. The other child, I forget where the name came from, but again, 2 syllables. Because let me tell you something, you know, it's like these people you see, they're wanting to go get a job and shit, and they got damn things pierced. You're not sure how they did it. And they got tattoos that looks like the second coming of the Antichrist on their face. And they're bitching because they can't get a job. Well, did you ever stop to look in the mirror at how fucking ridiculous you look? I mean, you look like the redheaded stepchild of, what was the guy out of fucking Hellraiser? Pinhead or whatever. Dude had all the little nails in his head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You look like his fucking stepchild. And you're wondering why people don't want to fucking hire you in a place of business. Who the fuck would want you working? I mean, I wouldn't give a shit if you're flipping hamburgers. You look like a fucking, some kind of damn mutated dipshit. And you probably got damn hair that's all fucked up too, because you thought that'd go great with all your piercings and tattoos.
Right.
Look like a fucking skunk. Why in the hell do I want you waiting on me? Because it's already obvious to me that in your life, you've made a fucking litany of bad choices. Hence why you're working at the fast food place. Not that there's anything wrong working at a fast food place, but you sure as shit shouldn't be doing it for a career.
Yeah.
So you're wanting to bitch. So, I mean, I digress.
No, but yeah, that's right.
I'm stop blaming everybody else for your poor fucking decisions. Make the change. Do something yourself. Become a successful person. You want to be a parent? Great. Be a dad. Be a mom. But be a successful one. Don't be out there half-assing it and needing somebody to give you fucking welfare or as a leg up because you're too fucking lazy to apply yourself, or that's just what everybody else fucking does.
Yeah.
Be part of the solution, not part of the fucking problem. And it's not limited to, just people of color. White people do the same dumb shit. Go up into the fucking mountains or out there. There's plenty of damn white people working the system too.
Yeah.
It's a game. You're running a fucking scam. And, there needs to be some controls, some heavy controls, settlement shit. In order to even be eligible for any government aid, you should have to be able to pass a fucking drug test.
Oh, absolutely.
That should be monthly. Or at least quarterly.
Absolutely.
And then when you do the quarterly one, not only do a drug test, but you've got to be able to show where you've gone and you've tried to apply at jobs. And I'm not talking about doing online applications and at fucking Burger King 45 times. You've got to show where you went out there and went on fucking interviews. If you don't, what happens is, and maybe somebody will listen to this and run with it. If you go to your Social Security office, whatever benefit you're getting, and you show them that you don't show them that you've been actively interviewing for a job, because here's what I'm going to tell you: if you're actively interviewing for a job, you're going to find a job.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to be a fucking rocket scientist and you've got GED. I mean, if you're Elon, cool, but a lot of these fucktards aren't. But if you can't show that, then you start a clock. And they tell you, okay, you've got 30 days, and then all benefits are cut.
Yeah.
I mean, you would fix so much that's wrong with social services that it would be incredible. And people would have to start doing shit on their own and doing shit for themselves to better themselves. I mean, this whole fucking generation we got now, they don't understand what 40-hour work week is. They don't understand about what it is when you get up before fucking dawn and actually do something.
Yeah.
You take a phone from them, they'll shrivel up and go into convulsions. I mean, our society is this the latest generation. It's like, dear Lord, you know, I don't get it.
Yeah. No.
And hey, I'll be the first to say I've got kids and grandkids. They're part of the problem. Absolutely, I'll own that. I'm not happy about it either. That's why I butt heads with them all the fucking time. But, you know, somebody's got to fucking tell them how it is.
Right.
If the parents aren't,
Yeah.
you know. All right, I'll shut up. I got on my soapbox.
No, we're good.
Well, for those of you who have kids, grandkids, great grandkids, I don't know if anybody here is that old, but if we do, and they're all about to graduate or they have graduated, congratulations. I wish them the best. I hope that they're able to continue their education if that's what they choose to do, or the trade they're wanting to do, or, you know, whatever. I hope it goes well for them. I hope they're able to achieve those goals and they get out there and become productive, you know, members of society, and you're proud of them. For all of you out there that think you're going to camp out in your grandparents' basement and eat, you know, Hot Pockets and drink RC Colas all day, you need to get a fucking clue.
Mm.
You're part of the problem, and your parents and grandparents who are allowing you to fucking do this are also part of the problem because they're enabling your dumbassery. You know, if this goes out to all the parents out there, all the grandparents out there. I made a statement about 10 years ago, and I said, when I retire, I will not work to support a grown-ass child who has nothing fucking wrong with them other than their ideology.
Right.
I know it sounds harsh, but if they're that fucking ignorant and they think I'm going to go after I've done all my sweat equity and done what I was supposed to fucking do, no. I can swing them by Sears and hook them up on a refrigerator box and point them to the cleanest fucking overpass. And they can start camping under that motherfucker because they're not staying in my house.
Right.
And more parents need to wake the fuck up, these woke dipshits, because they want to bitch and moan about everything. They don't want any fucking accountability. They think you're supposed to just live off your fucking income for their entire fucking life. And it's like, no, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Period. Now, if there's a reason why they can't work or whatever, then cool. I understand. You got to do what you got to do. But I see a lot of people who, you know, are sitting here and they're struggling to, you know, do this, do that. And I mean, because they've got deadbeats living with them. I've got a situation going on myself. Not directly me, but I've got a situation going on. You know, I know people got situations going on. And, you know, it's, I guess on some level, maybe our generation helped create the fucking problem because it was one of those deals where I just want my kid to have better than me. Or I don't want my kid to have to do this when they get my age or whatever. I don't know. I don't know where we took a wrong turn, but we did. And I mean, we ran slap into a fucking retainer wall.
Yeah.
Hard. You know, and also blame the technology that's kind of encroached and rotted everything. Technology has its place. It's a great tool if used properly, but it's also a disease. It's a social
Oh,
disease.
it's an addiction.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to when I got divorced, and I had my first decent computer. Damn, that was a long time ago. But do any of you remember the video game Diablo?
Oh yeah, love that game.
Okay, it was the first Diablo back when CompUSA was still around. I rolled in CompUSA, said, "Oh, I got $50. I'm gonna buy that game." Dude, I played that game so fucking much that I was dreaming about it. And I said, "Okay, there's a fucking problem here. If I'm playing a game and when I'm in REM sleep, I'm thinking about that game, there's a problem. I have an issue. I'm addicted to something." I put the game down. Seriously. But see, I guess because of the generation we come from, electronics were introduced after we were adults, right?
Oh yeah.
So we weren't as corrupted by them as, say, this latest couple of generations, because back in our day, we had like Atari 2600s and shit like that. Yeah, it was a video game, but we didn't stay in the house all day playing it. We went out, rode bikes, climbed trees, tore shit up, set things on fire, blew shit up, shot at stuff, hunted, fished, whatever. We did kid shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people use the analogy, yeah, we didn't come home till the streetlights came on or whatever. And that's true. I mean, hell, I remember times we go out and play in the damn rain. We'd be 2 miles from the house, man, rappelling down a hillside, run through a creek. It'd be pouring down damn rain. Or out there playing war or whatever. We didn't give a shit.
Right.
Once you drag your wet ass back to the house, you get mom to fix you some fucking chicken noodle soup, curl up under a blanket, and one and done. I mean, how many times did you go out and ride your bike for miles or go fishing or whatever, and it wasn't nothing? You didn't think nothing of it. Go fucking
Oh yeah.
Whatever. And
no, it was nothing to literally pack a lunch and stick it in the backpack, and it'd just be colder than shit out or hotter than shit, and just drive, pick a direction and just get on the bike and go, and with your buddies, hang out somewhere for a couple hours, climbing culverts, like you said, shoot stuff, blow stuff up, burn stuff, and come home.
Yeah.
And you'd be gone 12 hours.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Now, when I got to be a teenager, I started adopting a rule of staying up most of the night and sleeping until 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That was just me being lazy. And teenagers go through that phase depending on what their whatever lifestyle is of God or whatever. Our big thing was a bunch of us get together and go riding around getting into shit at night. Probably shit we shouldn't have been doing, or we were just riding around cruising or whatever, but we come dragging our ass in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Now, were we out there doing anything bad? Not necessarily, but probably didn't need to be out riding around as a bunch of teenagers because you're just asking for a problem.
Yeah.
But the point is that this latest generation, all that shit's alien to them. And this latest generation, they don't think they're supposed to work for anything, save for anything, or anything else. They think all that shit's supposed to be handed to them. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And when we were raised up, I know when I was getting my first serious job, I had other jobs before that, but my mother kept stressing, "I get some insurance, get some insurance, get some insurance." And now this generation, I don't need any insurance. I'm not sick. I'll just go to the hospital. Well, okay. So I have to pay increased rates because your sorry ass didn't want to get insurance.
Yeah.
And you're going to tank your fucking credit because you ain't going to pay shit. You're going to claim you're indigent or whatever, and they're going to come after you with a collection agency, and then you're not going to get shit. And again, your parents, if they're willing are going to be the ones having to bail you out of fucking poor choices again as an adult.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying. And it just, oh, our society's so fucked. So fucked. Now, I'm going to ask you point blank, Sex Man. I want you to give me your honest opinion. Do you see things getting better over the next 4 years?
It depends on what things you're talking about.
Do you see prices going down and availability, you know, of things getting better? Do you see the tariffs working? Do you see the immigration thing getting handled? Do you see the country moving forward in a positive?
So, okay, here's my answer. I see that yes, things can get better in that aspect of prices going down eventually. Um, I can see the immigration thing, you know, either staying at the same level or getting better. What I don't see, and this is, I think, the base of everything that you've been talking about, is I do not see a radical social change back to where we had a sense of morality and empathy, and not this fake woke shit empathy. I'm talking really caring for your common man. um I don't see that happening in the next 4 years. No. It took really, you know, it's taken 20 or 30 years to get us to the point that we're at now.
Yep.
Shit ain't gonna change in 5 years.
Correct.
We have, if you look at the rate of people that actually go to church, well, okay, I say go to church, people that actually believe in God, people that that's gone down. Church attendance has gone down, whether it's Christian, Jewish. Um, you have a lot of weird shit popping up that's becoming mainstream now. Um, and I tell you, I don't care who you are, man. If if your country loses its sense of moral direction,
Yep.
fucked. The whole country is fucked. There is no sense of togetherness anymore. There is no one vision. Um, you that whole diversity is our strength bullshit has killed the country.
Yep. I agree. Here's what I see. I'm not saying necessarily it's gonna happen, but I think it could. Um, you're seeing a lot of black on white crime. A lot of people getting, like, elderly getting killed. Like, there was an elderly couple at what's is Arlington, I think. They were there visiting one of their sons, his grave.
Right.
And so I walked up and killed them there. Just different things you're seeing. And it's a lot of stuff where they just don't care. Yeah. And here's the problem. That's straight evil. And part of that evil has been perpetuated by this whole racial rhetoric that's been beefed up and ran with. And the politicians spout it and everything else. I don't think Trump's ever going to get a handle on the government. I think he's got too many people working against him again. But this time it's a deep state. It's not his own cabinet per se, because he's uncovered so much shit with Doge that he's hurting their pocketbook.
Right.
I think you're going to see behind the scenes, they're going to undermine everything he tries to do, and they're going to try and spin it in a way where, see, nothing's better under him, this, that, and other. They're going to try and disenfranchise his base so that they can try and steal the election, however, in the next election cycle. And I don't think we're going to see another Republican in office, because I think if Vance can't get elected this time, there won't be another Republican elected, because they'll destroy the country. And I just don't see things getting better. I see too much fuckery on too many levels, and it's not being dealt with.
Right.
And unfortunately, and this goes back to our statement when we first started, unfortunately, there's only one way to root out some of this. And for those of you that have more than 30 IQ points, figure it out. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the old way ain't working. I think the country's too far gone. I hope I'm wrong. I truly do. Because the United States is a shell of what it once was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, now granted, the other countries definitely take us more serious now because who's at the helm?
Exactly.
That's blatantly obvious. But that being said, it still doesn't help the country in the long run, because we've got so much shit wrong internally in our own borders, in our own legislation, and nobody's fixing it, because you got too many people that are working angles to stay rich, stay in power, and fuck the administration who's trying to fix the country. Is Trump perfect? Absolutely not. But I do believe he honestly wants what is best for the country, because he benefits from it.
Yeah.
In the long run, his children and grandchildren, everybody else will benefit from it. But we all benefit from it as well. We happen to be on the same boat, the same page. And I just think that, I'd call me a naysayer, whatever you want to do. I hope I'm wrong. I truly do. But I've just got this premonition or something hanging out there that it's going to get bad. I mean, let me ask you this. How many times do you go out in public, whether it's a restaurant, a service station, a store, the Wally World, God help you, whatever, and you actually feel like you're being maybe sized up or shunned by the people around you? Do you ever get that?
Yeah, usually at mine, it's usually on the way out.
Okay.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I can go in places and it permeates. Now, what I have noticed, and I don't know if it's just a generational thing or it's an upbringing thing or it's one clique of people that are pursuing that kind of fuckery, but I can go into a public place and it could be my bearing, it could be how I come across, I don't know. But generally, when I run into somebody that normally I've run into that's looking down their nose or talking shit or whatever, I'll speak to them. I don't look at them for what complexion they are. It's a human being to me.
Right.
But if you're gonna walk around there with a fucking 9-volt battery on your fucking shoulder like Robert Conrad and all that bullshit I did to knock it off.
Knock it off.
I'm the wrong motherfucker to say that to.
All right.
Now, granted, I may not knock that battery off your shoulder, but I'm gonna eat your ass up verbally, and the whole fucking front end of that store is gonna know about it.
Right.
And the more you rant and get louder, the more I'm gonna fucking run your ass up in that tree and just make you look a fucking blithering moron. I love verbal sparring. I excel at it. So I encourage you, please fuck around and find out with me. Otherwise, let's all get along. There's no reason why we can't. Stop listening to the fucking narrative. Have a conversation.
Can't we all just get along?
Well, look.
Oh, yeah, I agree, man.
There's no reason for Hispanics, blacks, whites, Asians, whatever. We should all be getting along because we're getting fucking played. We all are.
Yeah.
We are fucking pawns on a ginormous fucking chess set, and they are wearing our ass out left and right. And we're just eating the shit up.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you would stop fighting amongst yourselves and all stop, take a minute, and turn and look at what they're fucking doing, we would be unstoppable. We could make change. We could change everything.
Oh, yeah.
The right way. Because they no longer have anything to make us fight, because we're no longer fighting. We had each other's back. Once we stop looking at everybody for looking at each other, whether it's by the color of your skin, the color of your eyes, the kind of music you listen to, what you drive, how you dress. Once we stop doing that, we can achieve anything.
Yeah.
The problem is getting everybody to commit to that mindset. And therein lies your problem.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, we'll start getting ready to wrap things up. I don't want to keep anybody longer than absolutely necessary. Saxman, I'm going to let you have the floor, my brother.
All right. Well, I would say, at some point there's stuff that you can't do, so keep it prayed up. Pray for the leadership in the country. Definitely pray for our future. And if you can get involved, get involved.
Absolutely. Words to live by, brother. Couple things kind of to hinge on what he just said. The good Lord never puts a challenge in front of you can't overcome. The difference is you've got to be willing to put on the big girl panties and go in the deep water sometimes and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You need to understand that. You can overcome anything that's put in front of you if you have the right mindset and accept it for what it is. Never lose sight of the gifts and blessings you truly have, because when you stop appreciating what you got, that's when it starts getting taken away.
Yep.
You need to thank the good Lord of everything you got. And if you're having a hard time with something, pray about it. Put it in his hands. He may not fix it the way you want it, but he's going to fix it one way or the other. It may not get fixed in the time frame you want, but it's going to get fixed in his time frame.
Right.
Hence my previous conversation. So you need to keep all that in mind. Keep your eyes on the prize. Don't get sucked down in this madness. Keep prayed up. Stay frosty. If you legally can, I would strongly encourage you to arm yourself with something other than words and an attitude. If you are not comfortable with that, or you've never owned something like that, go get training. Train. Go somewhere, pay for a class. Don't go in half-cocked, not knowing what you're doing, because you're more of a danger to yourself and those around you than the person trying to come at you. Keep your head on a swivel, stay focused, and God willing, things get better. And like Saxman said, pray for this administration, pray for all this evil to get smited, and us have a better tomorrow for our loved ones. That being said, again, thank you all for being here. I hope we didn't bore you too much tonight. We'll try to keep it to an hour. As always, Vanguard, thank you very much for all you do. Set us up for us. It's good hearing from you briefly. Hope to do that more. And that being said, everybody have a good evening.
Thank y'all.
Stay in
Peace
your
out.
lane. Good night.
Good night.